Now, over the past 4 months, the naira has depreciated by over 50% at both the authorized and unauthorized market segments after the Central Bank of Nigeria announced in June that it had collapsed all Forex windows into the investors and exporters window. The move, according to the CBN, was part of the Nigerian government's efforts to improve liquidity and stability in the market and attract foreign investors into the Nigerian economy. Although the policy was widely applauded as well-intentioned and necessary, it has put additional pressure on the local currency and manufacturers, with ripple effects on domestic prices. The CBN has said it is raising dollar supply in the foreign exchange market, just as it also lifted the ban on 43 items, that is the Forex ban, that were previously not qualified for Forex at the official market. Fingers are being pointed in several directions as the Tinubu administration attempts to get a handle on things. Joining me now is the Group Managing Director and CEO of Confederated Facilitators Limited Group of Companies, Lai Omotola. Welcome to Business Edge, Mr. Omotola.
Yeah, thank you for having me here.
So I think we can start with looking at the impact of this foreign exchange crisis on businesses in the country. You do business in the country. You have a number of businesses. You know people who do business in the country. Let's start with establishing how this has impacted you and others like you.
Okay. The impact is severe and very, very, I must say, severe. What we're facing currently is monumental, and we've never faced this kind of challenge, I think, since independence. Now, the reason for this is because the FX, the dollar is on the increase and the naira is on the decrease. Now, because it's an import-oriented country, we import our fuel. And the same fuel is what we use to power the economy. What do I mean by this? Farmers that have to bring goods into the country, into the city, will need transportation. And that transportation is fueled by either petrol and most of the time, diesel. Now, manufacturers that have to power their factories also will use diesel. So because of the increase in dollar, the diesel has gone up, petrol has also gone up, and this has affected the cost of business. And based on that fact, businesses are struggling, and that is the impact of the FX in our economy right now.
Okay. So what we've seen from the Tinubu administration is talking tough and also some moves as well in terms of the state of the naira. There's been a managed float of the naira, the exchange rate unification, now also the lifting of the Forex ban on 43 items. But as we know right now, the naira is going to the dollar about 1,200 as it is right now. So nothing seems to really be sticking with the number of things that the administration has tried. So why do you think that is? Why do you think we're not seeing enough of an appreciation in the naira versus the dollar in the recent days and even weeks?
Yeah, the reason why we're not seeing the impact is because we've not been able to actually eat the root cause. The root cause is not in the 43 items. The root cause is who is creating this 300 naira difference between the black market and the official window. And as long as that 300 gap is created, you are going to continue to have this FX crisis. Now, the thing is this: if we simply look at the demand and supply area, you will ask yourself, because the intention of government is to float naira in order for us to have 2 or 5 naira difference between the official market and the parallel market. But unfortunately, that has not happened. It continues to extend. As at yesterday, dollar was going for 1,300 naira. Now, what government have been doing is just to address the symptoms, but not the root cause. When you look at the demand and supply, it's a market. They call it a market. And if it have to be a market, there are people on the supply side that we call the market leaders. And there are people on the supply side that we call the bulk buyers. Now, instead of government to have a critical analysis that who are these market leaders? Who are the people that are actually putting money into the economy? The bulk people, the market leaders. Because you see, in every market, some people have like 50% of the market share. What that means is that they have enough dollar to determine the price. So when you go and do a critique of the people that are these market leaders, what is driving this bulk money that they're bringing to the market? Unless you address that upon what source of income have they become market leaders? That because the market leaders are the one determining the price on a daily basis. The way they move, every other person will follow. That is what is causing the increase. Before, the market leader used to be the CBN, but CBN has now moved. It's just like what you see in petroleum today, when NNPC and some independent marketers used to bring in fuel. But today, it is only NNPC that brings fuel. So NNPC determines the price, and every other person follows. So the same thing we need to identify in this market that they call the FX.
Okay. So you've pointed fingers at elite businessmen that you've described as market cabals, and I think that's where you're going now. You've said they've taken control of the market, and rather than a situation where market forces are at play, they're the ones who are pulling the strings. But when we look at these string pulling individuals, how are they exactly doing it? Because if we're going to get to the root of the issue, we need to understand how that root functions. So how are they pulling the strings for us to be seeing a gap of 300 naira and upwards when it comes to the naira to the dollar value?
Okay, I think I did a press conference concerning our anniversary, and we talked about this FX, and the thing has generated a lot of public concern, and it's gone viral. And people are asking that, can it be substantiated? You see, FX transactions have been around for over 50 years. People relying on FX, speculating on FX, and doing FX business. Now, when we talk about market cabals, when the government floated the naira, they were looking at the economic theory that lets market forces determine. And what is market forces determining rates? Is when people are doing the business of productivity, strictly business of productivity. That is what they do. And what is the business of productivity? I have raw materials to buy from a foreign land, and I need FX to bring those raw materials in. I need to pay for medical bills. I need to pay for students' fees. Those are what FX is for. Now, when you now move away from that, and you begin to speculate on FX, that I'm going to buy FX today because it's 1,300. Speculating that by December, I'm not saying, this is
your example, yes.
That by December, dollar will hit 2,000. So I will buy more of dollar today, keep it, and wait till dollar increase to 1,500 so that I will offload it. That is the business speculators are doing. And that is not productive. That is rent seeking. And secondly, you will find people that say that they're manufacturing, they come with an invoice, inflate the invoice, and deduct the difference, and still return it back to the black market. Now, what the cabals have done is that they have created a black market. There is nowhere in the world where black market operates and the currency will not fail. The cabals themselves are the owners of this black market. And because they decide the bulk of the money. So for example, if on a daily basis, Nigeria needs $100 million, they deliberately push $50 million into the market. And by reason of demand and supply, you're going to see an increase. And what is happening here is that while that is happening, the regulator is standing by and just watching and does not want to intervene. Now, in the past, they will say they want to defend the naira so that you do not have this spike. So they begin to pump in money in order to defend the naira. But that on its own also is also artificial. That has brought us and led us to where we are. I think that if you need to defend the naira, you don't defend the naira by pumping in dollars. You defend the naira by stopping unethical practices in the FX market. Until you stop these unethical practices where people make themselves rich through speculation on the dollar and they become billionaires. Until you stop that, you're not going to get the true value of the naira.
Okay.
Presently, what we have is not the true value of the naira.
Mr. Omotola, I'd like to get your thoughts on some of the suggestions for dealing with the Forex crisis that we have seen in recent days. So at the Nigeria Economic Summit that took place this week, Wale Edun, the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, said that President Bola Tinubu has signed 2 executive orders last week. One allows forbearance for all cash in the economy to come in and formally boost the money supply legally. And the second allows domestic issuance of foreign currency issues so that it will allow incentives to provide that foreign exchange for whatever source. Then we also know that the Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms Committee has also said that there would be a charge and excise tax on foreign exchange transactions that occur outside the official market. And we're hearing that there's going to be forms, there's going to be charges. People are going to be punished for what they're doing in terms of arbitrage and round tripping when it comes to the naira and the dollar. Do you think any of these particular recommendations or suggestions or actions will make a difference in this situation?
Yeah, definitely. If this money comes in, it will make an impact. You will see the naira and gain value. There's no doubt about that. But where the concern is it sustainable? I always tell people, money is not cash. Money is cash flow. And it's with emphasis. Money is not cash. Money is cash flow. Now, again, as a business concern, what is happening to Nigeria is the same thing that happens to companies on a daily basis, where a company gets a new CEO and inherits assets and liability. Now, my concern about where this money is coming from is that a business model that uses debt to pay debts is not too good a business model, because we are only postponing the doomsday. I understand that the government is under pressure and Nigerians are in need of a good news, but we must think about this thing holistically in terms of, is this sustainable? I think what the government should be thinking about now is not about raising cash, it's about increasing our cash flow. Because it is the cash flow that we actually generate that can pay every debt. But when we come and bring this 10 billion, and I hope the 10 billion comes, before we disburse this 10 billion, there must be a comprehensive exercise. And what do I mean by that? The status quo must change in our FX market.
Okay. Unfortunately, because of time, we can't go further on this, but that $10 billion that Wale Edun has promised the economy, many people are waiting to see if it will come and what impact it will have. And I look forward to having that conversation with you again. Group Managing Director and CEO of Confederated Facilitators Limited, Mr. Lai Omotola, thank you for joining me on Business Edge.
Thank you for having me.
And just to give you some more impact, because this Forex conversation is one that continues daily on a daily here in Nigeria. Now, the naira did, in fact, within a span of a few hours, appreciate by about 166 naira overnight. So the naira peaked around 1,279 on Thursday evening, but as of this morning, is trading just around 1,113. This, many are saying, is related to the comments of the president and the Minister of Economy at the Nigerian Economic Summit Group meetings that held in Abuja this week. So there's more conversations to be had on this, but we'll have to wrap up Business Edge right here, right now. Don't forget to follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. You can also head to our website. You can download our mobile app and, of course, take us with you wherever you go. At 12 p.m. West African time, you have News Central Now coming your way. Until Monday, 11 a.m. West African time, where we put African business, finance, and the economy front and center. I'm Tolulokwe Adeleru Balogun. Have a fantastic weekend.